What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Best Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Russler. Joining me this week is Andrew Gieselmann. He is a stand-up comedian and improv actor. He also runs the STL Tonight Instagram page, which features local restaurants and events happening around the city, as well as just like little tidbits and facts. Well, I've known him for like 3 years, and he's a good buddy of mine. We had a ton of fun talking about a whole bunch of stuff, so enjoy the episode. Give me your like social media real quick and any like upcoming shows you got.
So I have for myself personally it's Andrew in St. Louis, and then STL Tonight, TONITE is the meme page, so that's where
I love that page. It took me a while to figure out that it was you.
Oh yeah.
I was like, and then I remember one day at an open mic I was like, "Hey Andrew, you're STL Tonight, right?"
Yeah,
and you were like, yeah, I am. It was so weird. I almost felt like I was ruining your secret identity or something.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I have it on the like profile now. I don't know if I always had it on there. Like I tag my own like Andrew in St. Louis on there. So like if you really looked into it, like you could find out it's like not a huge secret or anything. But
it would tell people what you do with STL Tonight, because you kind of promote just all kinds of events happening around the city and like restaurants and usually some fun facts about the city and just general fun facts.
Yeah, so I'm out and about so much with like the job, at Busch Stadium so much. There's concerts there too besides just Cardinals games. And then I'm also over at Enterprise Center a lot with Steve's Hot Dogs. So in the off season, there's concerts and blues games and all sorts of stuff over there. So there's always some sort of event I'm at, and so it's easy to just be like, oh, I'll take a quick picture and look up something about the event because I'm curious myself. Like there's a lot of things that happen at Enterprise. I'm like, whoa, I didn't even realize this is a thing still. Like the circus goes through there and stuff. I'm like, I thought they discontinued circuses.
Yeah, I did too. I thought they were all gone.
They just don't have animals, but that's it. Yeah, so then I make a bunch of like St. Louis themed memes too on that page. Sometimes a few videos here and there. And then me and Teal are also spinning off a sketch show kind of adjacent to it. And that's probably the best thing for me to promote here is we are on at Fringe Festival next month, August 16th.
Oh, I didn't know that you guys were doing that together. I would have had both of you back on.
Yep.
Well, I would have Teal back on.
Yeah, we can come back on and
let's
like closer to it.
Oh let's do that for sure.
Yeah, that's August 16th. So yeah, that'd be great to have Teal.
And is it improv type show or stand-up?
Obviously there's gonna be a lot of improv in it, but it's more sketch based. So we have a plan of what we're gonna do, but it doesn't always go exactly the way we want it.
It never does.
No. So, but yeah, we have a bunch of different comedians, like open mic guys too, that we'll know. But yeah, so that's the thing with like sketch comedy. There's not a ton of that in town. So like me and Teal both love sketch comedy. So we're like, let's just make our own show. And
do you know Clay Byersdorfer?
Yeah.
He does the Into the Bench.
Okay.
Satire page.
That's right.
It's some military stuff as well. We've sat down before and pitched sketch ideas, and then we filmed a short one just to see like, hey, do we work well together? You know, I'll edit, you give your input, and we put it together, and I think we want to start doing some more. So maybe the four of us can link up
for sure
together and do something.
Yeah, we always like getting more people involved in this too, like having more like a rotating cast. For the Fringe Festival show, we have guys that have been like on a show already because it's like, oh, we want to put together one that's good for the festival. But the one after that, we're like, we want to get more new people involved. So yeah, I'll definitely have to hit up you and Clay for that one.
For sure.
I think we might have a date for that, but it's not official yet. We're aiming for October 23rd for the next one at Heavy Anchor. So
nice.
Yeah, so that's what we've been up to, really doing a lot of that.
That's pretty cool. You were right before we started. You said you were talking about you used to work at Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're an engineer, right?
Yep.
Why Did you just okay? So you did college, right? And then
Yep.
did you go straight to Ford, or did you always want to kind of like make cars, or did you want to like originally go planes or something?
Yeah, when I first went to school, in my mind, like Boeing was like a company that I always thought I'd be interested in working at for sure. Which like yeah, it's a lot different now, but 2009 was when I went to college, so it was a really well respected company back then. They do a ton of stuff down in Rolla too, with like classes and stuff like that. But yeah, when I got down there, found out that like to get an aeronautical engineering degree, those classes are very specific. So sometimes they only happen like once a semester or once a year. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
And so if you don't organize your schedule just right, like it might add a whole entire year onto your degree. So and a lot of people are like, basically with mechanical engineering, you can do all the same stuff anyways, and it's actually you can do more stuff with that. So mechanical engineering is what I ended up majoring in. And then I got the job at Ford my senior year.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was good.
That's pretty cool. So the whole idea behind the podcast is just anytime somebody says something's the best, it's just their opinion. You know, there's no right or wrong answers or whatever. So it's like maybe we agree, maybe we don't.
Yeah,
it's kind of fun to argue stupid stuff.
Oh, of course.
So I thought I kind of threw some questions together, and it's ironic. The very first question today is best best Gatorade flavor.
Oh, that's okay.
You showed up with lemon lime.
Yes, that is a classic. That is my go-to classic one, I would say. In high school, we actually had. So I went to high school at MICS. We had a really nice cafeteria, like anything you really wanted there. And one of the things we had was like Gatorade on, like in like a soda machine. So like Gatorade just like straight from the tap, and it was like the best. So and it was the lemon lime flavor. But I would say like my favorite flavor of like all time is like the Gatorade Rain.
Which color?
I like the lime one a lot, but honestly, like any of them were my favorites. They discontinued those though, which is terrible for me. But
I don't remember the Rain that much. Wasn't that like half? It was like half the sugar or something. Like wasn't that the whole? I think the Rain was supposed to be like it was somehow less calories or something like that.
Yeah, I just thought it was like it was like more refreshing. I always thought like sometimes Gator can be like kind of like I don't know too sugary or too thick.
Yeah, really that's how I feel about certain flavors. Like there's definitely like have you had that cucumber one?
Oh, that's my least favorite.
It's so bad. It's
I had
so
it on
bad.
accident a couple times and
fruit punch. I do not like any of the red fruit punch flavors. Those always make me feel thirstier.
Okay.
That never
really.
Yeah. No matter how much of it you drink, you're still like, like it kind of like leaves that a little bit.
Yeah, that's one of the thicker ones. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of blue.
Blue's good.
Yeah, light blue that's the way to go.
Yeah.
But
I like the light blue, yeah. So Costco, that's where I get Gatorade, like in like the bulk.
Oh, yeah.
And they used to have yellow, orange, red, which is fine. Like obviously fruit punch my least favorite of the three, but I would survive. Now they've replaced orange with blue, and I'm like, well, like I kind of liked orange.
Yeah. Orange I would keep.
Yeah.
And I would, yellow, orange, blue, but of course they've got to keep Gatorade or the red one in there.
Yeah, yeah.
That was probably the original flavor, wasn't it? Do you think that was there, or do you think orange came first?
I don't know. That's a good question. I want to say it was either yellow, orange, or red. One of the three.
I mean, I don't know, but I definitely got to go. I got to go blue on that one.
Yeah,
for
light
sure.
Blue, Arctic Blast or whatever. That's a good one. Cool blue is what they have in the Gatorade, in the Costco ones now. So. I take it. It's all right.
It's passable.
But yeah, I always bring one to the stadium like for every game. Like I'll basically like chug the Gatorade by like before it's over.
Yeah, in the summertime especially because you've got you're a beer vendor at Busch Stadium. I don't know if we said that or not.
We haven't covered that, but everyone knows that.
You better. You other beer vendors better stay out of Section 413.
Yeah, exactly. That used to be my stomping ground. It was up top.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
That's when I first started. I was doing like cotton candy, peanuts, all that stuff.
Do they send like the rookies up top?
Yeah.
And then the more vet guys go.
That's usually how it goes.
Okay.
Back in the day, like it really didn't matter though, because I mean they would pack that place. I started in 2009. That was the All-Star game year, and it was overflowing with people. Like
really.
2011, of course, when like right winning the World Series, all of that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, for the All-Star game, they had to like build extra stands like out where Hardee's used to be, or I guess it's like Proficient Perch now.
Yeah.
Just like accommodate more people. I think they somehow got like 50,000 plus in there for the All-Star game.
I don't doubt that at all. That that's pretty funny. But so when the reason I brought it up is because in the summer you're hauling. How much do you think that tray weighs? Because it's not just beer; it's full of ice and stuff like that.
I don't. So I honestly don't like thinking about it. That's part of it. Like that.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's fine because I'm not working today. So
you
that's
just
cool.
start shaking.
But, oh no. I mean, it is good motivation to sell it. I'm like, okay, the more I sell, the less I have to carry around. I'd say it's at least 100 pounds, maybe 150 sometimes, depending. Like
that's
right
wild.
in that. Yeah, it's insane. So I try to definitely like rest it on things and carry it as least amount of time as possible. Like that's kind of my strategy. Like the more like you're walking and carrying it, then it does start weighing down on you. But
I bet that's just all low back and stuff like that. Because there's no easy way to carry those.
No, not at all. Yeah, they used to have like little. I mean, they still do have the straps, but I don't wear them anymore because they would just like put all the weight in like the really bad part of my back, and every time I got off work, I'd be like, oh, this is terrible. But now I just carry, like, I eventually got good enough at just carrying it without needing the strap. Like, before I was like, my arms couldn't take it either, so, but yeah, it's a workout every time. And
I remember one time last year, it was Wainwright's last game.
Oh, yeah, that's
right. It was like me and Ronaldo and a couple other comics. We got done, we leave the stadium, and you came out.
Yeah.
We were like, Gieselmann, what's up?
Awesome,
and you were like, don't hug me.
No, yeah, I was
because you were drenched.
Soaked, yeah.
I mean, you probably worked harder than the players, to be honest. I mean,
baseball is a kind of laid back sport. They have like intense plays. I feel like where, like they exert a lot of pressure. And they're doing a lot of like practicing and shit too.
Bursts of intensity.
Yeah. But yeah, it is crazy. Yeah, like all the parallels between me and the players. I like joking about it all the time too. It's like, Wainwright, Molina, Pujols, Gieselmann. Right?
Yeah,
like,
all the greats.
all the greats. Yeah, it'd be great to like get your beer number retired or something.
I was about to. You get your tray retired, or whatever, like at the end.
That'd be great. That's the dream right there.
The Gees.
Yeah.
Do you have any like? Do you work the same sections or do you bounce around on different games?
I mean, I'm in the same area mostly, but like compared to most of the other beer vendors, like I'm everywhere. Like I definitely have like a bigger range because less fans of the stadium is kind of cut down on sales. So it's like you have to go farther out to get sales and yeah. But I try to stay close to where I get the beer from because that's like less since I have to carry it. So
yeah.
I'm usually, so I get my beer in section 134, and so I'll start out basically right field, bullpen area, and then like work my way all the way behind home plate. Sometimes get all the way over to first base side or third base side whenever it's like before the game or there's not many fans there. So yeah, I get to see like basically all the main floor. Used to be upstairs, sections like 300 and 400 level. And that's where all the kids were, or still are. But like that's when I was younger, selling cotton candy, all the stuff that they would want. So,
is there like? Do you ever go back to cotton candy or pretzels or stuff, or like are you your beer now?
Yeah, I haven't done cotton candy in a long time, but that was like the big seller when I was younger because like that's the most expensive. Frozen lemonade I'll do sometimes every once in a while. Lemonade, that's one I'll do.
Does that get assigned to you, or do you get to like show up and be like,
I
think I'm feeling hot dogs today, or whatever?
You get to choose it, and people ask me about hot dogs all the time. Like and we used to have a guy that like had like the hot dog. I don't even know what you call it, like a box, I guess, that you could have like everything in. But I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while, or seen that in a while. There's just so much stuff like stored in there to like just stash in the stadium. I'm sure that just got lost in the pile or something.
I would love to see it to where like you become an icon of Busch Stadium.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then like people have to find you like almost like a Where's Waldo, but when they get to you, they get to like buy a beer or popcorn or whatever. And it's like, so it's like now that you said you start by home plate and then you kind of work your way around or whatever.
Yeah.
I would love it if people would be like, it's the Geese like that, and I'm just picturing you like hanging out in like different sections in like a trench coat.
No, yeah,
and then people are like, are you Gieselmann? And you're like, yeah. And
you
then you
got
open
me.
it up
Yeah.
and
Here's your beer.
here's your beer. You got me.
It's like a cold frosty one, just like in the trench coat somehow.
Yeah.
Like, how did you do that?
like,
That's my secret.
I'm the Gies.
Yeah, the legend. Yeah. It is funny. Like, I mean, it is kind of like where's Waldo, but like I'm easy to spot. You know, like I'm wearing neon and like I have my hair and stuff. Like every time like my friends come to the games, they're just like, there he is, or like even like a higher floor. There's a couple like veteran guys that used to sell beer that are now like they're like luxury box attendants now, which like that's good money, especially if you've got like the tenure and stuff. I did that during the pandemic, and that's how I met them. But they'll come out to the balcony sometimes, a luxury box, like the real beer man, and like point down at me. I'm like, yeah. Just he's like, I'm trying to help you get sales. I'm like, I get it, like totally, like, because yeah, those guys are the old pros that. Like, they would have, like, the one section because there's so many fans there, and they just, like, ran that area type thing. Everyone knew who they were. They'd come to every game. And
Do you have any, like, regular customers? Like,
yeah, I'm starting to get a few.
yeah.
I wouldn't say, like, there's not a lot of people that come to every single game anymore,
Yeah.
but, like, you can tell they have, like, packages in the same area or, like, they give their tickets away for certain games. But, yeah, now that I've been on the main floor consistently and for like a lot during the season, like people do recognize me now, which is cool. So they're like, oh, I'm only buying from that guy, and it makes sales a lot easier because like they know the drill. Like, and yeah, I mean it's a lot more fun to see. Like I don't recognize everyone, but I'm like, oh yeah, I can usually tell like, oh, this person's bought from me before.
That's all I want now. That's all I want is to make you like like famous Busch Stadium like landmark, you know?
Yeah.
Like
It is a dream.
that would make me so happy for people to just be like, "Gee!"
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It is crazy. Like people, I mean, like doing comedy, like especially at places like Funny Bone and stuff. People, there's like a crossover crowd. It's like people will come to games like, I saw you do stand up the other night. I'm like, was I good? Hopefully, like, they're like, yeah. Like I don't think they would have said it if I had like didn't make them laugh or anything like that. So.
How much for a beer? I don't know. Did you like my bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. All right, $10.
Yeah. I mean, like anytime that someone has said that, like they tip like full, like as much like 20% or whatever. That's I think the max on those machines. You can put in more, but that's the easiest button to hit. But yeah, that does make it a lot easier. So
it's not. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but it's not just cash anymore. It's now you guys are. Did you switch? Where is it always like that, or did you switch recently?
They switched during the like right after the pandemic, so that was like their original reason for doing it was like it was supposed to be cleaner than cash. But I mean it's crazy. Like I touch it, I hand it. I mean the machine itself is probably dirty by the end of the game.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't. Well, I mean,
but it's easier for them though too because they don't have cash flowing all over the stadium. It's just all in the machine now.
Yeah.
So. And that usually speeds things up for us, like checking in, checking out, and stuff like that. But the machines they act up. I mean,
that's right. I forgot that. It's not just the vendors. It's everything is cashless now, right?
it is. Yeah, which like that has become a point of contention in a lot of sales for me because like I'm the point of sale, like I'm the person that they see selling the beer. It's like. I don't know why they always think it's like you need to like fix this. I'm like, okay, I run this stadium. I'm gonna go up and tell them, right?
You need to get rid of the Bud Light and bring back the cash. And you're like, yeah, these are my decisions.
That was the other one, yeah. Like, and I still get a little bit of flack for the Bud Light stuff, but it's more like now it's like people still buy that. I'm like, well, not as much, but it's still an option.
I'm sure that that's over.
For the most part,
I think people were really angry for a while, and then they're just like, "Yeah, but I just give me a Bud Light."
It was an everyday thing for me for a bit. There.
I'm sure.
People are like mad at me. I'm like, what did I do? Like, I work at Busch Stadium. Like, what else am I gonna sell? I had the joke where it's like, oh, you don't want a Bud Light? How about a Bud Select? And like, oh yeah, I'll take that, buddy. You know. But. Yeah,
I'm not giving my money to Anheuser-Busch. Yeah.
It's like you already bought the ticket.
Yeah,
like,
you're at Busch Stadium. Okay, all right.
Yeah, Michelob Ultra I think was the one that I usually could like get them on or whatever. Like, oh, Michelob, that's not Anheuser-Busch. It's like, well, yeah, it is, but like, you're an idiot. So.
And it's low carb.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I know it is because the people in my family are like, oh, get the Michelob. It's low carb.
It is, yeah. Healthy. I mean, I definitely like them, but I mean, I wouldn't. So they call it the premium beer. I guess it's called premium. That's what they advertise. But At the stadium, they have just like the regular domestics and then premium beer. So like Bud Light, Budweiser Select, those are all $9.99, I think, a beer. Ultra is like $1.49 more, $1.50 more, and people will still like they're like, I want that. That's why I sell the most Ultra. I sell way more Ultra than anything else. Yeah, it used to be Bud Light was number one. Now it's Ultra by a mile. Like I'll sometimes carry out 18 Ultras. And like usually I'll have like 8 Bud Light, like 5 Budweiser type like that, and I'll still sell it to the Ultra before anything else.
Huh.
And I'm cool with it because like that makes more commission for me. Like they're gonna buy the higher item thing and it's or higher value thing, and it's the same weight. Right?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But yeah, people can be picky. It is crazy. Like it's like they won't drink anything but Ultra, or like they won't drink anything but Bud Light, and it's like, well, you don't even want to select. Like it's like so close. Like I literally could not tell the difference, but.
No, I don't think if you got them all cold enough and you were like, close your eyes, what is this? I would not be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, I mean I get it though. I mean they're paying $10 plus for a beer. They want the one that they want. So.
I might not even be able to tell the difference between like a Coors and a
really
Budweiser. Yeah. I mean honestly, there's I don't know because I don't think I've ever had them back to back like that.
Yeah, we have to do like a taste test or something.
You're just like, it's a beer. Yeah,
it's a beer.
What's the best concert you've ever been to?
Like for work or just like hanging
Well,
out?
I was either one. I was like, which one probably is the best you went to just recreationally, and then which one did you have to work that?
Yeah,
I'd say, oh, this is awesome.
I'd say the best one I went to, and this is, I mean, I guess it's kind of cheating, but I went to Adult Swim Fest 2019, I believe. Cool. Eric Andre show, they were one of the headliners, and I think the other headliner was Captain Murphy, which is Flying Lotus's alter ego, like his rap alter ego. Yeah, Flying Lotus I love in concert. Like I don't really like listen to his music outside of the concert, but like his visuals, everything they does at concerts.
Never even heard of him.
Yeah, I mean, you can look him up. He does he's done a lot of stuff with like Hannibal Buress and Eric Andre. I think he was like the in-house DJ for Hannibal Buress's show on Comedy Central for a couple years. Cool. So yeah, and he'll do stuff with like Eric Andre's show too. He's been on a few episodes, but yeah, that was a sick festival. There's a lot of like obviously it's Adult Swim, so they had some comedians too. I can't remember what, I think it was at LA Coliseum or something, or it was like some soccer field there in LA, and the whole festival was right there, and it was, yeah, there was a lot of good acts besides those two guys, but yeah, that would probably be my favorite concert just to go to and hang out at. Best one to work, Metallica last year was a good time. That was at the Dome though, and I like that because I mean I like Metallica for one, but two, like, I mean, my job is like very exhausting and stuff like that, but when you have Metallica blasting at the same time, it's like, oh, you know, I'm not exhausted anymore.
You want a beer?
Yeah. Like, I couldn't hear.
You can't hear anybody.
It was intense, but so much fun. And like I was surprised by like the diversity of like age groups there. Like there was a lot of like kids at the Metallica concert.
My daughter got into Metallica.
Yeah.
And when she was like 14, well, it was Stranger Things.
That's what I figured.
They played
Master of Puppets.
Yeah.
That was a cool scene. I did watch that.
She was like, yeah, she was like, Dad, what was that song he was playing? And I was like, oh man. Have you seen speaking of Metallica, have you seen the video of them playing in Moscow?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Right after right after communism fell.
Yeah, that was intense.
Yeah, and they were playing Enter Sandman or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man, that gives me goosebumps when I watch it.
That's world peace right there.
Yeah, exactly.
You get a massive Metallica concert as long as you.
Yeah, so long as you're not communist, you can have rock and roll.
Like you hear that, Putin? Like like that's peace deal with Ukraine, and then you'll get a Metallica concert.
Yeah, we'll bring them back. Yeah, they're still touring,
yeah,
and they still kick ass. I'm not a big. I think I've only been to like 3 concerts my entire life.
Really?
Maybe more. I don't know, but I don't remember most of them. I've never been a big concert person.
Really?
Yeah. We went last weekend to it was a country band. Mm-hmm. Dan and Shay.
Okay, yeah.
My wife and kids really wanted to go, and they were like, "Hey, we got to why don't you go?" And I was like, "Okay." And I just sat in the chair the whole time, and
Oh yeah.
I had headphones in, and I was just kind of like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm here.
I'm
But,
listening to music, just not the stuff that's playing.
Yeah. But it seemed cool. Like, it was a great, like, first of all, the place was packed, and people were loving it and singing and, like, dancing, and they did have really cool visuals and stuff like that. But I think the best concert I've ever been to was Ronaldo took me to El Monstero.
Oh, no, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, I had no idea who El Monstero was.
Yeah.
He just goes, hey, do you want to go to an El Monstero concert? And I was like, yeah, I'm bored. Sure. So we went. I don't know it's a Pink Floyd cover band.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I walk in, and there's people everywhere. The lights go down, and this door, like, right behind us opens up.
Yeah.
And these three guys march out in Nazi uniform. Like, they weren't Nazi uniforms, but they were Nazi uniform, you know? And I was like, what is this? And Ronaldo points at the guy, like the guy in front, because he's the lead singer. And he was like, this guy's awesome. And I was like, what? What exactly are we? And there were two comics from Kansas City, and I turned to, like, one of them, and I was like, so are you guys familiar with this?
Yeah.
Are there normally this many Nazis?
Yeah.
Or,
did I walk to a rally somehow?
Yeah, what is this? And then it wasn't until they got on stage they started playing, and I was like, hey, that's Pink Floyd. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, oh, this is a Pink Floyd band? This is awesome.
This is great,
Yeah.
I just, the surprise of it, like, that must have helped, I guess.
yeah, because I was like, oh, this is going to be a long night.
Yeah, it's like, okay, let's do a concert, the pageants, whatever.
Yeah, but they did, at one point, they did the I guess the intermission or whatever. And we were all outside on the patio, and the Nazis came out for a cigarette.
Oh, yeah.
And we were standing there, and people were like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. They're out here smoking a cigarette or whatever. And I'm like, it's actually not cool, though, because they're still dressed as Nazis.
Yeah, just out in the street.
And anyone driving by is going to be like, what are they doing over there?
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to know. They all think that we're having a rally right here.
Exactly.
So it's like, guys, could you
you
guys go back and, like, just go smoke in the green room or something?
Exactly.
Come on, like, nobody knows that you're doing this ironically.
Yeah, imagine like leaving that place. Like, you have to go straight home. Like, you can't. Like, you go any. Like, I went to an open mic after doing a show as, like, a juggalo, and, like, when I was with, like, my improv team, like, it made sense.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
we were on stage or whatever, and it was fun. And then, like, I left to go to Wild Card, and I'm just, like, the only person in Platypus wearing juggalo stuff. Which, out of all the places to show up, like, that was a good one to go to. But,
Yeah.
Still, it was a little disconcerting. Like, the sort of, like, looks you would get from people, it's like, oh man, like, this is not what I normally do. Like,
This is not.
I'm not a juggalo. I just dressed up like this for an improv thing. Like, oh, okay, so you are a loser. But
No. I feel like Platypus would be the right place to go.
Oh, yeah.
If you're like, I want to not be judged right now.
yeah, well,
Platypus is a solid.
I was being judged positively, actually. Everyone's like, dude, hell yeah, man. I was like, all right.
Oh,
Like,
that was what they were doing?
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
okay.
the bartender's like, here, this drink's on us. I was like, damn, like, maybe I do need to show up as a juggalo more often.
Yeah, maybe they've got it figured out.
That's
I
the
don't know.
vibe there. I don't know.
Speaking of improv, because you just graduated, was it level 4? Level 3?
It gets confusing, yeah. So there's, like, 4, like levels that you're just, like, doing class for, and then there's 2 levels after that are, like, they're called the teams level. That's when, like, you form an improv team and you actually perform every week.
Okay.
At alongside, like, so you do practice on Sunday and then perform on Thursday type thing, or whenever your practice is. Ours is just on Sundays. Yeah, so I graduated the second level of teams, so that's, I don't know, you could say level 6 of improv, but that's the whole course guide. So
Oh, wow.
It's all done.
I've wanted to. Part of me wants to get into improv because I think that it would help me be quicker.
Yeah,
on
for
stage
sure.
with stand up.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that, like, I'm lacking in. Especially because, you know, a lot of places around here don't want you to do crowd work.
That's true.
know?
Yeah.
Which is, you know, there are good reasons and bad reasons for that, but at the same time, like, it's something that you eventually need to do. So I've always been kind of interested in improv, but I guess I've always been too embarrassed to be like, yeah, I want to try it.
I know, yeah.
What do you think the best rule for in improv is? Because I didn't realize that there were rules until just probably recently.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, I think the most important one for me to remember, and it helps for stand up too, is like be present, like in the scene, be present for your partners, like know where you are on stage essentially, and like so when you're, I'm at Steve's Hot Dogs, I'm here at this place. It's like you don't want to, you gotta tailor who you are on stage for where you are, what you're saying, all of that good stuff. I mean, the biggest rule in improv though is yes and, like you have to say yes to everything.
Right.
Which
never shut anything down.
Exactly, but with crowd work, it's like you never know what you're gonna get. So you say yes to someone, you're like, oh, maybe I should not have even bridged that. Like.
I feel like I've told my wife before. I was like, I need you to like yes and this.
Yeah.
And you're really giving me no but.
Yeah.
And I that's kind of the opposite of what we're going for here.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, for me, like my biggest issue I think with improv is I'll overthink things on stage. Like I'm like I have to set a scene, I have to be in emotion, I have to do this or that. And it's like those are like the ones that I like, those scenes don't go as well. The ones where I'm just like in the scene, like having fun, like trusting my instincts, those are the ones that end up going the best. So yeah, it's I mean obviously it's very new to me still, but it's so much fun. Like I mean I kind of liken it to like sports, like stand-up comedy is like an individual sport.
Yeah.
You're on stage like golf or even tennis.
I was gonna say that's a good one.
But improv is like a team sport, so like you don't have to do everything. You have partners that can help you. And so like that analogy has kind of always helped me like figure things out and know how to act on stage and stuff like that. I don't like with stand-up, yeah, you have to do it all yourself. With improv, it is a little bit tough to like kind of pull yourself back. It's like I don't want to take all of the thunder from everyone else on my team. Like I want to be a member of this team, like contribute for sure. But yeah, and that's I think the biggest issue with stand-ups when they do improv is they tend to like we're gonna go for the punchline or whatever. Like
I think that's probably one of the things that's held me back a little bit from getting into improv is because it's like when you do stand-up for so long and it's just you.
Yeah.
Thinking about going back and like having to like play well with others.
Yeah.
Or whatever. You're kind of like,
yeah.
but what if I don't want to be a butterfly?
Exactly,
or whatever. So I think I should get into it because it would be probably good to help kill my ego a little bit.
I mean, it's refreshing, and they do a good job too there of like taking you through it like little by little. And like even if you didn't want to like go to all the way through the teams level, like level 1 is just like improv 101 kind of, and that I think was one of those levels that I got the most tools from to actually like apply to stand up as well. Like it was a lot of like, I mean, you're basic with improv, like you're writing jokes, you're writing the scenes as you do it on stage. So but you can take a lot of that stuff that you're doing on stage and apply it to joke writing as well. Like saying yes to things, expanding, like making sure that you're communicating correctly, like the entire, like what you're trying to portray instead of like, so people get what you're saying. A lot of times it's like stand-ups are like, this is funny to me, so it's gonna be funny to everyone else. But it's like, you have to describe it well enough, otherwise it won't make sense. So yeah, improv 101, level 1, like, even if you just did that, I think it'd be totally worth it. But and that was like, I think my original plan was like, oh, I'll just do level 1, like hit the basics and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. I'm going to keep going for sure. So,
do you do it over at the improv shop?
Yeah.
Is it, what's Manchester?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah. It's like
it's kind of tucked in that little corner.
Vanderbilt
right?
in Manchester. Yeah. It's like right behind the White Castle. Which is pretty funny. Like
where dreams are made.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you'll like pull into the White Castle sometimes, like go around and then into the parking lot because you don't want to wait for the whole light system or whatever. And yeah, to get out of there, sometimes you have to go through White Castle too. So
they used to do an open mic on Mondays, and when I first started, and I would go there for that. And I mean, it was like all open mics, just a room full of comics waiting to go up. Yeah, and as soon as you were done, you left. Yeah, and it was. I remember that was one of those things where I was like, how am I supposed to get better if no one's here? But I don't think it was marketed towards people. I think it was like, hey, come run your set. And then Rafe Williams and Bobby J. Cox were there, and they would give you really good advice afterwards.
Okay,
Like they would be like,
that's worth it at least.
they'd be like, hey, try this, or hey, cut this out, or focus on doing something like this. And if you were going to add a new rule to improv, what do you think the best rule to add would be?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I'm so like new to it. I feel like me applying rules to it feels
Well,
kind of wrong.
I mean, it's just your opinion, like something that you've seen that you're like, I wish we could get rid of this or do more of this, or I wish they had this. Maybe there's something. I don't know anything about improv really, so
Yeah, I'm trying to think because I mean, there's a lot of like just like rules of thumb already too. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'd say no rules. That'd be my rule. No rules in improv.
Getting rid of the rules. No more
rules.
yes and.
Yeah, stop telling me what to do. The possibilities are endless. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm still so like new to it. Like I'm still figuring it out myself. So it's like, it's hard for me to criticize it really at this point.
It's I would now that you say no rules, it would be kind of interesting to see what would happen if you purposefully did an improv show with no rules.
Yeah.
So you purposely no yes and every answer is no but or something like that. So it's like, hey, do you want to play basketball? And it's like, no, but I want to hang glide, or
like
purposefully, and then see how quickly it goes off the rails.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes like people just do that like on accident, like because I mean, there's certain things like it's hard to like divorce your mind, like your improv mind from like your everyday life mind.
Right.
Like in improv, like you want things to go crazy and stuff like that, like and fall apart. Where in like everyday life, like I think we call it, like soothing or whatever. Like you try to like figure out the situation, make it better, so that people aren't fighting. Yeah. So that's one of those things that for me, like I'll be on stage, like trying to like it's be an engineer, like trying to problem solve. Like no, actually, you're not supposed to do that. Like make it go chaotic and then see where it goes. If you say no too much, it's just like the scenes almost don't go anywhere. Like that's kind of the issue with that. Like it falls apart so quickly because it's like, all right, well, where are we then? Like,
okay, well then, what are we doing?
Like, you're my brother. We're in the woods. No, but
I could be your stepfather.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like no.
But that's the other thing that they tell us though too is like you can say no as long as you're saying it in a way that's adding to this, like adding to the scene or to stuff. It's like, and sometimes you say yes in a way that like is saying a no as well. So it's like it's such a weird. Like that's the thing with like rules and improv is like as soon as you make a rule, like you find the exception to it, and you're like, oh damn it, like okay, revise it. My improv team, I'm not really sure if this would be a rule, but it was like a little thing that we fell into one show. I think our suggestion was rabies, and we just put rabies in everything, like way too much. So like our like little team rule is like rabies. Like make sure that you're doing different scenes, otherwise people are gonna get really tired of the same fucking thing over and over again. Like
okay.
And
rabies.
Yeah, that's what it's funny, like that's a thing at the improv shop now is like rabies is what they tell some of the teams levels, like don't like fall in the trap of doing too much about the suggestion. Like the suggestion's just supposed to get you going. Like you don't have to.
Yeah, it's just a suggestion.
Exactly. And we just I mean, we had fun with it. Like we were like rabies at one point, like eventually became like this like zombie virus that everyone was getting taken over with by the end. But everyone else was like, "What the fuck are you guys doing? Like, stop talking about rabies. Like, go do something else. We're done with it."
You just get hyper focused on the one word.
Yeah. So I mean that's funny. Yeah. I mean that's the thing is like we formed as a team. I had to switch out of like my class and like a different class for that level because Busch Stadium started back up. So I literally just met everyone on my team that Sunday night, and then Thursday we're doing a show already. So it's like, it was chaos. But yeah, we had fun and came together and figured it out pretty quick. So they do a good job of that there for sure.
Cool. Okay, what's the best way to tell someone's a bad person? You probably see this a lot because you're in being in, like customer service, hospitality, whatever. You probably see the worst types of people.
Yeah, I mean, everyone. I'd say like easy one is people who don't tip. It's like I'm sitting there like pouring sweat out of my face. And it's like, I understand if people don't want to tip 20% or even 15 on a $10 beer. Like, I get that. But, like, $1 or something like that, like, it's pretty easy to do. Yeah, people complain about stuff, like, to people that have no control over it.
Yeah, so, like, you and the Bud Light.
Yeah, it's like all these different things. Like, what do you want me to do about it? Like, you're taking down the wrong guy. Like, go write a letter to your congressman or something. I don't know. Like, start at the top and work your way down. Yeah, I just try to move on from that stuff typically at work. Like, I can tell pretty quickly. It's like I'm not getting anything here. Only negative is going to come out of this, so I might as well get away from this sale as quick as possible and just move on to the next one. It's kind of just a mentality you have to take there. But yeah, people can be really rude sometimes. Every once in a while, it's like the best example recently is some guy bought a beer at the stand, and the beers at the stands, like, they just kind of have in the fridge or whatever. Sometimes, like, they're not on ice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're just getting like a refrigerated beer, which if it's in there long enough, fine. But
also they're opening the door every
exactly
6 seconds.
Yeah,
to grab
so like by
one.
the sixth inning, it's like they're moving stuff around the stadium. It's like it's not cold anymore. So, and it's the same price up there as it is down when I carry it and like bring it to you. But so this guy like flags me down. Like, I was bottom of like a section, like pretty full case, and he like flags down to come to the top. So I think he's trying to buy a beer, and I get there. He's like, "Hey, can I trade this one for one of yours?" And basically they tell us like just don't do that because like they might have opened it, stuff like that. I just don't have the time. And I was like, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And then he cursed me out like pretty quickly. And as I was walking away, he was like, "Get this goofy looking motherfucker out of here." And I was like, "Sir, if you only knew, like, I do stand up comedy. Like, that was the nicest thing you could have actually told me." Like,
I'm taking notes on what you're saying. This is my new 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, it gets hot there. People, they'll pop off.
I bet the score affects people's moods.
They weren't
too.
playing too well either.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the games. Like, this is this year, and like we've been better, but like whenever we lose, sometimes like we lose big, and like it's just people are like, "I paid all this money to come here, like, dude, it's bigger than they suck." It's like, it's baseball, man. Like, that's what it is.
That's
like, they don't.
How it goes.
That's baseball.
There's a sign up around here somewhere of. It's like a ticket stub from like the 1950s or whatever.
Oh, really?
And it's like, to watch the game was 98 cents.
That's insane.
A Coke was a nickel. You know, like it
Yeah.
was. You're just like, oh man, you can't go to the ballpark now and not spend $250.
It's insane. Yeah. And so I mean that's kind of like one of those hidden things. Like for me. Like, I make a certain amount of money, but at the same time, I get to go all these games for free.
Yeah.
All these events for free. And a lot of the events, like, I would never go to. Like, there's, like, country concerts I don't think I'd ever go to. But, so it's, like, experience I get to have for free and also make money at the same time. Get a workout in.
Yeah. That's a pretty good system.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem half bad.
No.
Hopefully tomorrow when they're back, it's not going to be stupid hot.
I know, yeah.
It's been nice. It's been kind of cool and rainy today.
It's been a better year, yeah.
Hopefully.
But yeah, that last homestand, like there was a few games where I was like I was dying out there.
Oh yeah, 96 degrees. And...
Yeah, like when they took the pitch clock away, I stopped taking as many breaks because like the game's shortened and like I can't sell for as long. But yeah, there's like another like the day last week was like if I don't take a break, like something bad is gonna happen. Like I'm gonna pass out or something. And the nice thing is like we have like the walk-in cooler to like get all the beer out of, so I'll just like go sit in there for a bit and cool off really quickly, and then I'm like, oh, now I'm like freezing, I gotta get back out there. But yeah, it's that maintaining that is like a different thing you have to do at this time of year. Like in May and before, like sometimes it's too cold out there, and it's like I want to like get out and start moving so I can warm up. But yeah, this is the hardest time of year for sure to work there.
I bet. What's the best city you've ever been to?
Oh man,
that's it's kind of hard to have to think about every city you've probably ever traveled to, but
yeah, I went to a bunch of cities last year in Europe for the first time. I'd say my favorite of those, I really liked Amsterdam a lot. Amsterdam was great, and I was only there for like a day and a half, but I could already tell, like, I was like, man, I got to come back at some point.
Yeah.
There's just so much to do there. Like, it's really cool. Like, I mean, they have the canal system set up there. Like, as an engineer, like that stuff like fascinates me. That like you have a canal system that basically connects the entire country almost. Like, even like rural places like that's how like, they feed their fields and stuff. I mean, the entire country is almost underwater if they weren't for that. So,
I never knew that. I mean, I knew they did. You know, the tulips and you know all those, but I always see the canals and I'm like, oh, that's the city. You know,
yeah.
But I didn't realize it was kind of the whole.
It's like a roadway, kind of like their old roadways and stuff. Taking the trains through, like you could see like all the canals like outside of there. I was like, damn, like this entire country. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Like, and they'll fly over like because New Orleans is kind of the same way, like being underwater. They fly over people from Netherlands and Belgium and all that stuff just to like figure out how to maintain the dams and make sure that the city is still around.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine if all of a sudden they were like, you know what, we're gonna take the whole French Quarter and make it like Venice.
No,
and
it'd be
it's
insane.
Just waterways and or like Amsterdam with canals and stuff.
Yeah,
there would just be so many drunk, dead people,
some dead Mardi Gras goers for sure.
Just floaters.
Yeah,
it's like, oh no, it'd be like, oh, I don't know, what were we thinking?
It'd be tragic, yeah.
What were we thinking? Oh my gosh.
Hell.
It's just canals filled with crocodiles and anacondas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Best cheap beer.
Best cheap beer.
If you're going out or if you're at an open mic or something, and you're like, I just want a quick, cheap drink. What are you reaching for?
Busch Light. I usually go that. Pabst is good. I like. Yeah, I mean, Busch Light's probably the cheapest, easiest one.
Yeah.
I don't really taste any difference between Busch Light and like Bud Light or Select or anything. Like,
yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Is that I honestly, if you put 3 beers in front of me and were like, tell me which one's which, I'd be like, I probably can't.
I know a lot of people like Stag. I didn't really like Stag. I mean, I can drink it, but it's like I never go for it. Like
I didn't mind it. I started to like it more when someone explained to me that you can't get a hangover from it.
Really?
Because there's something about it is, I don't know, the sugars or something. Something's different in it, and they say that it will not. I don't know if you can't, but you are not likely to get a hangover.
Damn,
from it. I was like,
I didn't know that.
Well, that's a plus.
Might change my opinion on that.
Yeah. But where I come from, everybody calls it steak, taters, and gravy.
Okay.
Yeah, and they said it's a pork chop in every can.
That's what does it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's keto. No. I don't know. Did you ever get into like Keystone Light or anything like that?
Not really. Yeah.
I feel like Keystone Light to me is like it's like something you would see at like a high school party or something, because you can get 30 of them for $6 or something.
College would be the only time I really drank that.
Yeah.
I think that's when they had, and maybe they still do, is like they had like the Keith Stone
commercials.
And I was like, those are hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm Keith Stone, always smooth.
Always smooth.
Always drinkable.
Keith, you're so smooth.
Yeah.
the stupidest commercials.
But yeah, so like that, I would like, it's like, okay, I'm getting Keystone. It was just a little shit like that. Like when I was in college, like I'll totally do.
That actually is kind of segues. I don't have a slide for it, but what do you think is the best commercial like mascot or spokesperson? So like a Keith Stone or the Sonic guys or the.
I always like the. I don't know if this counts as a mascot, but like the Real Men of Genius.
Oh, the Bud Light,
like
Real Men of Genius. Yeah, that's.
They should bring that back. I mean, maybe it's like too marketed like men, but. You could just like real person of genius or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I could listen to those just like on like a loop or whatever. Like you could just lay all of them out for hours and I'd listen to all that. It's like, and that's an advertisement, so it's like you're getting sold beer easily, but it's just like they're all hilarious. Like just little jokes, right?
Yeah.
One by one.
That's kind of what. I mean, sketches aren't they? I mean, they're just short commercials, but you're not selling anything.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can and make it good, you're gonna make so much money.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like the Sonic guys, those guys are geniuses too. Like they just pulled up to Sonic one day, basically filmed themselves eating it.
20 years.
That's insane.
They did those commercials for 20 years.
Insane.
That's a full I mean, that's a full retirement at some job, you know, with benefits. Like
Yeah.
if you would have done that in the military, you're done. You're retired, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just, you know what? When they were around, I hated them.
Really?
I hated the
Really?
Sonic guys. Oh, I could.
There's a few
It was
annoying
so
ones.
stupid, and I was just like, oh. And now that they're gone, it's like, I kind of miss the Sonic guy, you know?
Never know what you got till it's gone. I think like corporate mascots are becoming like more and more like almost like ingrained to everyday life now. Like Jake from State Farm, like that is who he is now, almost like that guy. I don't know if you ever watched Community, but there's an episode or like a few with a character who's basically his name is Subway. Like,
oh yeah,
because he's like he basically just is like a 24/7 Subway sponsor. Like, they pay for everything in his life to like he just like they pay for his identity essentially. It's like that's the next level of marketing, I think.
Well, after their last spokesperson, I can see why they might.
I think this was before the Jared stuff came out.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Somebody told me the other day that Subway was sponsoring some like streamer or something like that.
Really?
And then he recently got caught like talking to underage girls or whatever,
yeah.
And they immediately pulled the plug.
We've been through this before.
Can you imagine that pitch meeting where they're like, "What are the odds?"
I know.
What, 2 in a row? Are you serious?
Is it something we're putting in the subs?
Come on, is it? Must be the nitrates from the pepperonis. I don't know. Like, Steve, you said this guy. He's like, he seemed like a real stand-up guy, man. I don't know. Yeah, but you said that about Jared too. Mm-hmm. What's that firefighter doing? Is he still?
Yeah, let's go. Let's get Jersey Mike.
Yeah, how is Jimmy John's the least controversial?
Exactly, yeah.
Like the guy that owns it.
Yeah.
Have you seen him or anything?
He's like a big game hunter guy.
He's a billionaire.
Yeah.
But party animal.
Oh, of course.
And it's like, how have you not had a controversy?
He just puts it all in the open, you know. Hey, here
I
it
guess
is.
so.
Like, there's no skeletons in my closet. I just threw them all out. Like, my closet is the cleanest thing that I have.
Yeah. Best TV dad.
I definitely like Phil from Modern Family he's so funny to me. Like I love that show. Classic.
I've talked about this on an episode before, but separating Bill Cosby from Dr. Huxtable, just Dr. Huxtable as a character. He's a dad, doctor, raised a family. He's pretty good dad.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Pretty good dad. So, and I've told people that I've always wanted my parenting style to be a combination of Dr. Huxtable and Phil Dunphy.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely more of a Bernie Mac, Dan Connors.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like, hey, Dad's going to sit here and have a beer, all right? Or like, hey, maybe don't come at me with attitude or I might snap at you. You know, like I wish I was the happy, bubbly Phil Dunphy, but sometimes
I mean, he's like actually like he's getting like kind of controversial. Like people are talking about like, oh, like he was like always like the good guy or whatever, and like put everything on Claire and stuff. So they're like, great dad. What is it, like great dad but terrible husband or something like that. So.
But that's the thing. Like he was supposed to be the kind of like bumbling idiot, and she was supposed to be the person who takes charge.
Yeah. And
then now people are mad because they're like, well, she's taking too much charge. He's not doing anything, and it's like. Yeah, but if it was reversed, then people would be like, "Oh, what? Claire can't be a strong, independent." And it's like, no, it's just a balance. That's just how their dynamic worked.
Yeah.
You know, I hate it when people just pick apart things. It's like,
it's weird that they're doing it now, though. It's like the series has been over for like a few years or whatever. Well, it's like now they're picking it apart or something.
Yeah, it's been over. It came out like 20 years ago. You know, the first season was in I think early or maybe like late, I think it was like 2009 or something when it started. And now people are picking it apart. And it's like, it's been 15 years, man.
I think Lily, the actress that played Lily, I mean, she was like a baby when it started. Now she's like 18, like going to prom or whatever.
Yeah.
It just kind of shows how long that's been around.
But I do love Uncle Phil, though.
Oh, yeah, classic.
I do love Uncle Phil. I always bring it up because I love it so much. There's an episode where Will and Carlton, they go to a pool hall
Oh yeah.
and a shark, like a pool shark,
Takes it for all their money.
takes them, and they're down like $1,000 or something like that. And Uncle Phil shows up, and they're like, Uncle Phil, he took all our money. We don't know what we're gonna do. We gotta play him, whatever. And he just turns to Jeffrey, and he's like, Jeffrey, fetch me Lucille, like that. And Jeffrey goes out of the car, comes back with a pool cue in like this perfect case.
That's awesome.
Or whatever. And Uncle Phil just like stares him down and just like clears the table.
He is the shark of all sharks.
Yeah. I love that. I always wanted to have a dad moment like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know what skills I have. Be like, Dad, we need somebody to do a tight five real quick. I'll be like, bring me my notes. Bring me my water.
Bring me my golden microphone. There's a guy, I mean, this is kind of a random tangent, but there was a guy at Crack Fox after the show last week. They do karaoke, and he went up and did a Ludacris song, like, I Want to Lick You From Your Head to Your Toes.
Oh, of course, classic.
But as Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was amazing. Like he did the impression the entire. It's a long song. It's like a 5-minute song.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And he did the entire. I mean, they're rapping and stuff like that. And then when he finished, like he took the microphone and then he has like a place for it behind the bar. Like he just does karaoke so much that like he has his own microphone there. He just set it down. Luis messaged me later and he said that like later on in the night he actually did like another song as Sylvester Stallone. I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy is dominant. Like, why is he not doing comedy? You know, like,
I want to hear Hall & Oates as Hulk Hogan.
Exactly.
It's just all 80s action stars.
Yeah, it's like reverse karaoke where like you request someone to sing the song or something for you.
That would be great.
That'd be insane.
I would love that. Be like, excuse me, sir. I would like to hear Shaka Khan sung by Jean-Claude Van Damme, please. Could you make that happen? And just,
but there's another. We'll bring up Community. There's an episode of Community where like Abed gets in trouble because he found some like agency that like provides impersonators and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so he just like gets in so much debt into like this company that's like I guess owned by the mob or something like that. And so he needs everyone in the community group to like impersonate a different celebrity for this bar mitzvah or whatever to like make all the money back. Like
that's a good premise.
I think like they picked like Jeff is like some like really hot person. I can't remember who they picked for him, but like it just keeps feeding his ego so much that like he breaks character and like ruins the entire thing. I think Abed's like still getting more like impersonators at the party still. They're like, what are you doing? Like, we're trying to save you right now. You're getting more. It's like, I can't stop it. I can't help it. It'd be like a situation like that where it's like, damn it, like I need someone to improv my way out of like the mob or something. Like,
could I get a suggestion from the audience? That's funny. I loved Community. Yeah, there were so many great episodes of that. Like and things that like still work. You know?
Yeah. It's still. I mean, I'll rewatch it like once a year type thing, and it's like these are still funny. Like, it's pretty relevant. Community was great because it actually followed my college years too. Like my freshman year was like year one of Community, 2, 3, 4. So I was like, when they were like graduating, doing like stuff like that, I was kind of in the same mindset too. So it's like, oh, it's a little meta there.
The Pillow Fort episode.
Oh, classic.
The paintball episode.
Yeah, those are great.
Oh man, because it's a Die Hard parody the whole time.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, Dan Harmon's awesome, and he ended up like, I mean, he does Rick and Morty, and
yeah.
As soon as like, I mean, I knew as soon as that show came out, like this is gonna be great. Like I gotta watch this. Cause
weren't the brothers that they directed the Avengers movies? Didn't they do some of Community too?
I don't know.
What's his name? Or what are their names?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
All right. Maybe I'm wrong. I always thought, oh gosh, it's really going to bother me now. What?
It wouldn't surprise me like they like did like an episode or two or like writers on the show or something. Because yeah, Dan Harmon's really good at
man,
like storytelling and all that stuff.
Anthony Russo.
Okay.
The Russo brothers?
The Russo brothers. That's right. Yeah.
Of course, it's not going to be like in their top.
No, yeah.
But yeah.
All the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff.
I feel like they. Yeah, they did. Okay, cool.
Look at that.
They did Community. All right.
Hell yeah.
Ha! Ha! Look at that.
Now we just got to see your
In your face, Gieselmann.
Yeah.
No.
Now we got to see your face on the screen out there, so that you can in your face me twice.
Oh my gosh, that was so annoying. I swear. Now I just feel like a biggest idiot. I swear I saw my picture up on the screen, and I was like, wait. And then it changed very quickly, and I was like, did you just see my face? And you're like, no.
I didn't
and
see
I was
it.
like,
Yeah, I wasn't looking.
I swear I just saw my own face on the screen. And we stood there for, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
And it was just like, it never
Endless
came back
slides.
around. And I was like,
I swear I was on there.
I swear I saw it.
I believe you. I believe you.
What's the best way to show you trust somebody?
Oh, man. I like telling them, yeah, trust is like a two-way street, right? Like, you gotta give to take, I think. Like, yeah, I mean, you tell someone a secret and they keep it, you can trust them type. Like, little things like that. Maybe, like, some personal information or something. Or
See, if I let you drive my car, I trust you.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't like people driving my car. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even really... I don't mind it, but I'm not a huge fan when my wife drives my car.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Oh, I'll just take your car," and I'm like,
It's like all the settings will be different when you come
yeah,
back.
I mean, more so because I've seen her hit a curb or two.
Okay.
You know? But like
Then
at the
she's
same
like,
time,
no, that
it's
was
just
there
like,
when I got in.
yeah, like it's my car.
Yeah.
I don't know. JB, I asked JB that, and he said, if I give you my Wi-Fi code,
Okay.
if I give you the Wi-Fi code of my house, that means like I trust you. You're welcome here.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty. And I was like, that's a pretty good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good one. So,
I like that.
What's the best set you can remember doing, and where was it at?
That's a good question.
Because you've been doing comedy, what, 4 years now?
But
5?
I'd say it's hard for me to like really put it all together because I started right before the pandemic, like January 2020. And It was like just starting to get in the swing of things, and then everything shut down. So, altogether probably like 3 years. But if you really just like looked in the calendar, and about 5.
Because I remember you being around for a while. Yeah,
4.5 maybe. I started doing like sketch comedy in high school too, so it's like I was not in the stand-up scene, but I've done comedy before, and like I would host semi-formals and stuff like that at our fraternity when like we needed someone to like do stuff like that, and I was always like writing jokes back then. My best set, that's a tough one, but I would say like there was a show recently. It was for Teal's birthday, and I like this one. I'd say is like one of my best because I really went for it. Teal is famous for doing a lot of song parodies in his
he's
sets.
great at it.
And I had done a show with Chad Wallace where like the premise was human versus ChatGPT, like who can write the better song parody. And what I did for that was a parody of Piano Man called Comedy Man. And so I finished that for Teal's birthday because I was like, okay, I have a 10-minute set here. I'm gonna do 5 minutes of like my best material and then finish with like the song parody because it was at the Improv Shop in the side stage. Great vibes, packed room, everyone loves Teal. Like, and I think I was the first comedian after him, so I was like, I have to swing big, like start the show off hot. And so we actually had like tech there, right? Because they had improv for the second half of the show, and I mean they normally do improv there, so you need tech for it. So I was able to cue up the song in tech, and I didn't tell Teal that I was doing it either because I wanted it to be a surprise for his birthday. And so yeah, I almost stuck the landing. I got the first 2 verses in, and then I forgot the second 2 because like I think I just like missed my cue to come in, and then it was just unraveled. But like up to that point, I was like, this is maybe the best I've done so far. Like I was like, this isn't like a legit closer. Like I know why Teal does this now. Like,
it's so oh man, there have been times where I've had to follow Teal.
Oh yeah, and
he gets done, and I mean the whole room is like kumbaya, swaying back and forth, and he's turned a Third Eye Blind song into a parody about LASIK eye surgery, and it's like the whole crowd is just dying, and then you have to go out and be like, hello. All right,
I am a person.
No joke. There will be no songs during my set. I'm so sorry to disappoint. That's man. So that's kind of cool though. That,
it was a lot of fun. Yeah, like, and I mean, maybe I'll do it again sometime, but I would like need tech like at the same time. I was so upset because I forgot the last 2 verses. I was like, oh no, but the second verse, I think if I just ended it there, like that was when it was funniest, anyways. So
Yeah, that's music adds such a whole other element to it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it messes with your timing, and then it also like the cues have to be right, and you have to trust the person on the sound booth, and then you have to like it's just it adds so it's so much more difficult when it works.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is worth it.
Yeah.
But it's like there's so many things that you can go wrong.
Yeah.
I did a set one time at a comedy club, and they asked me what walkout song I wanted.
Oh yeah.
So I told him, and he was like, "Oh, I don't have it on my phone, but I'll pull it up on YouTube."
Okay.
And I was like, "Okay, great." And so they announced me, and when they announced me, they hit play, but it went straight to an ad
of
on
course.
YouTube for Manscaped.
Okay.
And so they were like, "Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Eric Rustler. Have your balls thanked you lately with the new Manscaper 3000 or whatever?" And I was just like walking out like,
That's actually probably the
Hello.
best situation. Yeah. I'd rather just do that every time.
yeah, people laughed, and I mean, luckily I have a joke about being hairy and stuff, so I transitioned straight to that, and it kind of worked. But then afterwards, the sound guy came up to me. He's like, "Dude, I'm so sorry." I was like, "You know what? It was okay. We went with it. You know what I mean? We rolled with it."
You said yes.
Okay. Best store-bought cookie.
Ooh, that's a good question. So you have those like, what are those, like cookie cupcakes? Those
Yeah,
used to be,
nobody knows what they're called. Everybody is like the ones in the plastic with the icing. Yeah,
those used to be my go-to. Like, I could,
really?
like,
Okay.
used to be like I don't eat as many cookies as I used to, but like just like the extra icing. Like I used to love icing when I was a kid.
People either love those
Yeah.
or hate them.
Yeah.
There's no in between. There's nobody that's like, yeah, they're all right. You know, like you either.
Just too easy to down like a whole fucking tray of them. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my gosh.
dude, I've definitely done a sleeve before. You know.
Oh
like,
yeah, I think
down
we've all
whole
done.
sleeve, but yeah, like I said, I used to love icing when I was a kid. I'd get the corner piece and the cake all the time. Like I didn't even really want the cake part; I just wanted the icing part.
Really?
I can't do it anymore, but yeah.
My wife's like that. She's all about the icing. The icing is more important to her than the cake.
Yeah.
Like she'll forgive like a kind of dry cake if the icing's good, you know, or
Yeah.
like, but I'm just not a cake person.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love other things, but cake has never done it for me. I would say I would have to go Chunky Chips Ahoy.
Oh yeah, those are dangerous too.
Those are my favorites. I just love the chocolate chunk. Like I feel like it's just a little bit better chocolate. The Chewy Chips Ahoy, they make me gag.
Really?
I can't do it.
Yeah.
There's something about it. It's like you shouldn't be able to put a cookie on a shelf for 6 months and it still be chewy.
That is,
you know what I
it's
mean?
a little gross. Yeah,
It's
to think
like,
about. Yeah,
it's
like
just,
too moist.
It's something weird about it.
Yeah,
I don't trust. And then people always get mad at me all the time because I don't like Oreos.
Yeah, I used to like Oreos a lot more. They've gone crazy, like where they have like just these random flavors now. Did you see they have Sour Patch Kid Oreos? I saw, and I like Sour Patch Kids too, but like that used to be my go-to candy. But like those are two things that should not mix. You know,
No.
I don't even want to eat them consecutively or whatever. Like, it's just not.
Oh, that's so gross.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
like,
gross.
Whoever came up with that needs to find Jesus, I think.
Yeah, it's so weird that you said that because I was like, oh my gosh, there's nothing holy anymore. There's nothing sacred. Yeah, I can't. I just one time I said I didn't like Oreos, and I got like 7 comments that were like, "We hope you die in a fire."
Oh man,
like that. Yeah, people get so mad about Oreos. The closest thing to an Oreo that I will eat is the Hershey's cookies and cream bars.
Okay.
It's like a white chocolate, and then they call them chocolate cookie pieces in there, but they're Oreo, whatever.
Like crumbled up Oreo.
But they're like little specks of it crumbled up in there, and I'll eat that. But anything else, I just don't care for it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I miss the Oreo. I wonder if that's a gene. Not liking Oreos, because you know how like some people can't eat cilantro because it tastes like soap.
Really?
Yeah, like, what? Oh,
It's like an acquired taste. Or
yeah, like where maybe there's some gene that like affects your taste bud.
Huh.
Huh.
someone doesn't like Oreos and someone does. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
All
right.
We gotta find the Oreo gene.
Yeah, we've gotta breed this. We gotta breed the non-Oreos out. Get rid of them. Selective breeding so to make Oreo the number one cookie in America.
That's what they talk about every day in the board meeting.
I was about to say, is that what they do at the Bilderberg meeting or whatever with all the leaders of the world? They get together and they're like, how do we make Oreos number one? Well, we just hit an hour, so let's wrap up. Real quick, you want to plug your social media and any shows and stuff again?
Yeah, so my personal social media is at Andrew in St. Louis on Instagram. I think I have like Threads and other stuff like that with that, but I don't really post too much on Threads there. And then my As Still Tonight is the meme page. That's TONITE. And then so we have the sketch show As Still Tonight live at Fringe Festival in August 16th. That's a Friday at 11:30. It's at the High Low on Washington Avenue. So it's gonna be a fun venue to bring the show to. Yeah, we've done the first 3 at Heavy Anchor, and that was a perfect place. But we're like, we want to take this on the road too, see how it plays at festivals. So
yeah.
And we have the late night Friday slot, so 11:30 on Friday, which is pretty crazy. But we're looking forward to it. Angela Smith Winfrey is the stand-up on the show.
Oh, cool.
We normally have bands on it, but we only have an hour for it, so we had to compress the show a little bit more. So, but yeah, we have this. Still the stand-up part.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. Yeah, she's awesome too. So that'll be really fun.
Yeah, Angela's cool, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Did you already plugged your social and everything coming up?
Yep.
All right. The last thing I ask everybody when they come here will be the best way to fix this podcast. Any suggestions on how to make it better?
I would just more graphics, more memes. I think like that's that from my perspective. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on. We'll get you and Teal back in here before the Fringe Fest.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, we got to get you guys.
That.
Yeah, exactly. And Teal's always fun.
Oh, absolutely.
He came in here one time. The last time he was on, he came in and we ended up talking about SNL and like Simpsons and stuff.
Of course, yeah, that's what we did all the time. Yeah.
Deep dive into some of this stuff, and he was teaching me all kinds of things.
Yeah.
But thanks so much for coming, man.
Yeah, thanks
I
for
appreciate
having me.
it.
It was a great time. Yeah.
And thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week.